Pirkay Avot, Ethics of Our Fathers, Chapter 2, Mishnah 5. Hillel would say, Ein bor yirei chet, a bor does not fear sin. V'lo ma'aretz chasid, and the ignoramus is not a pious one. What's the difference between a bor and an amaretz, an ignoramus? And what's the difference between yirei chet, the one who fears sin, and the chassid, the pious one? To start, I'm going to use the understanding of the Rebbe, who reads all of Pirkay Avot as instruction for one who has already accomplished everything he needs to in terms of the code of Jewish law, basic Jewish law. And Pirkay Avot is mili de chasidusa. The Pirkay Avot is matters that are beyond the letter of the law. Now that's the case. The bor, who lacks in fear of sin, yirei chet, and the ignoramus, who is not a chassid, who is not pious, are both complete in their service of God as far as the letter of the law is concerned. Now how does that work? So perhaps these two clauses are referring to attitudes in one's service of Hashem. The first with respect to mitzvah and sin, and the second with respect to Torah study. The first is the bor. The bor is not just a question of his knowledge, but perhaps more importantly a question of his character. If he is boorish in nature, always thinking of himself and not considerate for others. And if he's thinking for himself and not considerate for others, then he truly is not in fear of sin, even if he follows the letter of the law. It could be he's motivated by self-interest, his status in society, fear of retribution from heaven. But fearing sin itself, fearing betraying God, that's not in the cards for the bor, for the one who is selfish by nature. So the bor, the one who is selfish and self-concerned, is not truly yirei chet, is not truly in fear of sin, even if he is technically following all the laws. And lo amaretz chassid, the ignoramus, is not pious. So let's look at the word amaretz, ignoramus, on its much more literal translation. Am haaretz, person of the land. And chassid, the Zohar translates the word chassid as hamischased in kandile, the one who is kind with his maker. That is, he's concerned not with himself and his own achievement, even spiritual achievement, but with what does God want from him. So someone who is a man of the land, he's very earthly and corporeal in the way he studies Torah, will not see the divine in it, even if he understands Torah. But if his approach is purely rationalist, purely corporeal, and purely almost scientific, then he cannot be a chassid. He cannot see the divine in it. He cannot see the mystical. He has to escape from his artzius. He has to escape from his materialistic entrapment of his view of the world and his view of Torah. And then he can be chassid. Then he can be one who engages truly with the divine within the Torah that he studies.